Hello enthusiasts and welcome to this new video from the website www.moonwatch.fr. Today we're presenting an accessible tool watch with this Casio G-Shock GW. On the moonwatch.fr YouTube channel, I have already introduced several Casio G-Shock watches to you, but this one, the GW-M5610, is the worthy descendant of the very first Casio G-Shock. This tool watch inherits the DNA of the legendary G-Shock model, and it stands out from the thousands of references that have been manufactured by the Japanese company. Its specific square design symbolizes the origin of all Casio G-Shock watches. As a direct result of efforts and innovations, this tool watch addresses the fundamental issue of designing a watch that doesn't break even if pistol dropped. More than 35 years have passed since the release of the first Casio G-Shock, and this Casio M5610, which has become a bestseller for the Japanese manufacturer, captivates with its developments, qualities, and functionalities. This watch brilliantly succeeds the first unbreakable watch, the Casio G-Shock GW-M5610, which was first announced in 1983. It's not easy to navigate through the Casio watch collections. The multitude of models and colors makes choosing a Casio G-Shock quite difficult. No mistake possible. With this Casio G-Shock M5610, it is lightweight, precise, unbreakable, timeless, and above all, it is offered at a very competitive price. Once acquired, the ergonomics, ensured by solar research, and the precision, guaranteed by the multiband 6, thus making it a radio-controlled watch, make it almost impossible to regret your purchase. So when we talk about Casio G-Shock, and more specifically the M5610, there are many variations, many colors. I present two of them to you today with this camo, which is based on a full black, and with this glossy model, the one I will use in the video, which is full black without any annotation on the front face. So, there are many colors like yellow, red, white, etc. There is really something for every taste. And for those who want a watch offering a little more functionality, there is also the GW-X that I hold here on the right, which additionally offers the tide graph and moon phases. A dedicated review of this model will, of course, be published in a few weeks on moonwatch.fr. Let's look at the specifications of this Casio together. G-Shock GW-M5610. The watch. It first appeared in 2012 and is still in production. It's a unisex model with a resin case. Casio Module 3159 for this model. The more recent models will rather feature the 3495 module. It's pretty much the same with some navigation differences, but no additional functionality. The power reserve is 10 months on a full charge. The watch is water resistant up to 200 meters, ISO 22810. The bezel, on the other hand, is fixed on this type of watch. There are 4 buttons, pushes. The scratch-resistant mineral glass, 43 mm in width, 12.7 mm in thickness, ultra-lightweight, barely 52 grams on the resin strap with Ardion buckle. The reference number of this model is GW-M56. 10BB1ER. Knowing that the references can fluctuate, depending on the colors, and there are many complications. World time, multiband 6, tough solar, chronometer, countdown timer, alarm, snooze, calendar, illuminator, shock resistance, and more. Let's take a closer look at the case. This case measures 43 mm in width and 12.7 mm in thickness. So it's a suitable and wearable size for the majority and is in line with current trends. The watch was released in the early years of the 2010s. It is very, very modern, obviously. As with many G-Shock watches, the use of resin helps enhance the unbreakable aspect of the watch. Even though in this glossy configuration it looks a little more casual, let's say, G-Shock has also released models in full titanium. So here it's a mod, meaning I bought a basic watch like this. I purchased a titanium case and a titanium bracelet, and I assembled it myself. But G-Shock has released them in the original version. However, the price is quite steep. We will talk about it in a future video where I will detail the mod for you. Next, we have a fixed bezel that helps protect the dial by adding a bit of thickness. The Casio G-Shock style is asserted with the inscriptions protection and G-Shock. It integrates perfectly with the case and with the dial. That specifies the functions of each of the push buttons. You see, on the dial we have the information for mode, adjust, light, etc. So it's rather well thought out. To continue, we find 4 buttons at 2, 4, 8 and 10 o'clock. These are discrete buttons. And by the way, I regret that they are so small and don't protrude more because it's quite difficult to use them. You see, you still have to press. You really have to press firmly to activate them. It's a bit of a shame. Slightly larger buttons would have been appreciated. On its big sister, the GW-M5610. Casio, by the way, uses pushers that are slightly wider and slightly more raised, which are much easier to operate. I hope Casio will continue in this direction for future models. Next, we find a steel case back that ensures water resistance up to 200 meters. The particularity of the case back is that it is held by 4 screws. As always with Casio G-Shock, we find it many inscriptions, namely the G-Shock logo, shock, absorbing structure, the module number fitted, the watch reference number, the serial number, and the rest of the classic literature found with the Japanese manufacturer. Regarding the dial, it should be noted that it is composed of 2 parts. The outer part of the dial is solely for capturing light rays to ensure the energy needed for the watch's operation. Since the watch is solar powered, it will concentrate the energy into a battery, specifically a CTL16116 battery in this model, and as a result, the outer part, which is quite large, allows for capturing this light energy source. Depending on the models, you might have a bit of text on it, but it's exactly the same thing. Here, full black, so no inscriptions. Here, a few inscriptions. I don't think it bothers the capturing of the light source. Next, we find the digital display, which is readable but less so than on a Casio 5610 with positive display, with positive screen. You see, on the left you have the 5610 with a negative display, and on the right the GW-M5610 with a positive display. Depending on the angles, you see, we will have more difficulty with the negative display in being able to read the time. Well, after all, it's a matter of personal choice. Obviously, the full black side for a full black mode looks much better with a negative display. So, it's a bit of the price to pay to have a beautiful Casio Square in full black mode to somewhat compromise on readability, especially depending on certain angles. As soon as I tilt them, we're going to have trouble reading there. Thirdly, there are white inscriptions that provide information on the battery status and active functions, whether it's the alarm, snooze, or signal. The usability and display ergonomics are excellent, despite the multitude of features. It is very, very easy to operate the watch, and the display is always relevant and easy to read. We explain this simply because Casio always uses the same type of navigation. So, if you've ever had a Casio G-Shock, you won't feel out of place. Finally, a mineral glass protects the screen. We are accustomed to this type of glass with Casio. These are quite resistant glasses that are not afraid of water, but scratches appear fairly quickly since it's a mineral glass without scratch-resistant treatment. Given the price of the watch, it's acceptable. We're talking about a watch priced at €140, 130, 140 euros. Considering the price, it's quite acceptable, and it reinforces the whole watch aspect. Keep in mind that there are also screen protectors available for those who are really meticulous and wish to preserve their screen. The radio-controlled watch GW-M5610 houses the Casio 3159 module. This module is interesting in several aspects. It is battery-free and a battery recharges using solar technology. When fully charged, the autonomy is about 10 months, so that's also quite a good thing. No more battery changes since solar energy will recharge the battery. Just like the Citizen Skyo that I have already presented to you, the watch will synchronize daily via radio waves to achieve precision close to atomic time. This GW-M5610 version is multiband 6, which means it can synchronize with 6 transmitting antennas that will be selected based on the rare time zone you have set in the watch. For us French, it will synchronize with the German radio, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously this quartz watch is a G-Shock. It therefore has numerous features: alarms, snooze, countdown, stopwatch, time zone, etc. As you can see, it's a true tool watch. We are really looking at a watch that offers a lot of features, more or less useful. The only criticism of this module 3159 is its weak illuminator lighting. I was a little disappointed. I expected something much more powerful. It's quite discreet, but well, it does the job. Other G-Shock models offer much more powerful backlighting with the ability to configure the lighting duration. Here, each press of the light button will illuminate the screen for 1.5 seconds, which is a bit short. On more recent models, for example with the caliber 3495, you can set the lighting duration up to 3 seconds, which is an advantage. Nothing extravagant about the strap, which is made of resin. The Casio G-Shock 5610 is fitted with a glossy black strap. So I'll tell you right away, I'm not a big fan of the glossy finish, and I find this design rather aesthetic on a woman's wrist. Generally, I think glossy looks better on a woman than on a man. In any case, the watch holds very well on the wrist. The watch is very light, weighing barely 52 grams. It's safe to say that on the wrist you never feel the watch. And the flexibility of the silicone is a plus in terms of comfort. No problem finding replacement straps and cases. Customization is easy and won't necessarily be expensive. For example, here you have a mod I made, full Titan camo. So the watch costs around 130 euros, and the strap and case also cost me about 130 euros. So basically, for 260 euros, I have an ultra-light titanium watch with a lot of style. I will pass it to you so you can see the details. The camo print on the titanium is done via laser, I believe. Very good level of finish on this mod. And for those who do not wish to mod their watch, there are more than 30 color variations that I have listed in the article on the website. I have included all 30 for you. Go check it out, you'll see. There really is something for everyone. So there's no doubt you'll find a model that suits you. Then there are even other very similar references that use more noble materials. For example, the GW-S5600 has a titanium case and a carbon strap. It is also really very, very beautiful. Casio has planned it so that these square ranges truly suit everyone. Since 1983, Casio G-Shock has sold over 100 million watches. The watches are solid, reliable, modern. Most of the time they are available at affordable prices, except for some limited editions, which are highly sought after, where the prices can really skyrocket. However, without really bringing new features. For a long time I found these Casio square watches plain and uninteresting. Honestly, I had never really been interested. And by chance I stumbled upon a camo model that I was able to try, and I was tempted to create a mod. It's this one, and honestly it's true that since then I've been charmed. I find that on the wrist the watch is just perfect. So, as soon as I unpacked the watch, I immediately understood why these 5610 series are among the legendary models of the Japanese manufacturer. What more can you expect from a watch at 130 euros? The watch is solar powered, radio controlled, it has a plethora of features, and the readability and visibility are excellent. Moreover, the watch is sturdy, which is what Casio is known for. Honestly, even the square case shape, I wasn't too much of a fan. I've already had several square watches like the Tag Monaco, a Carrera Attack, the Monaco Attack, sorry, and other watches like that. I'm not too much of a fan. Yet here, with barely 12mm thickness, I find the watch very pretty. The shapes are perfect, they are very geometric. It's really well thought out. I understand why these models have been so successful. Since 1983, success has been consistent. 183 success has been consistent, not perfect for sports and daily life, yet it doesn't look ridiculous under a shirt. My two most important features for acquiring a G-Shock are the solar touch and the multiband. With this 5610, it perfectly meets my requirements for a good tool watch. It is the worthy descendant of a legendary watch, and since its release, several evolutions in the range have appeared. Bluetooth metal bracelets, titanium bracelets, camo, etc. But it is indeed the GW-M5610 model that most appeals to the Casio Square fan community. There you go, my review is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. The little bell below, the little like, it helps the channel. We have surpassed 1,500 subscribers. The next goal is 2,000. So remember to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And otherwise, I'll see you soon on our website, www.moonwatch.far, and on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. With that, see you soon, friends, for the next video. Bye.